I am going to go over cooking a tomahawk steak. And I'm going to sous vide it, but I am first going to marinate it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little bit of red wine. Today I decided to use the Unami Malbec. I'm also going to use a little bit of some Madrona salt, a little bit of liquid smoke, a little Worcestershire, and my favorite spice packet, the Spicy Northwest Barbecue Rub by Rainier Rancher. This adds flavor to everything you have. It could be chicken, pork, steak, vegetables, anything. It's absolutely my favorite. So I'm going to start by just pouring in a little bit of red wine. I'm going to try not to make a mess. I'll give it a little bit of red wine in there. I'm going to add a little bit of the Worcestershire. Put a little dab of that in there. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of smoke. I don't like to add too much of this because it tends to overpower everything. So it'll get a little bit of the flavor once we finish it at the end, but I'm just going to put a oops, that was a little bit more than I wanted, but a teeny tiny bit of the smoke in there. And then I'm going to add a pinch of the Madrona salt. This stuff is very, very potent. So you don't want to add too much because it will definitely over salt. But I'm just going to add a pinch of the Madrona salt in there, maybe 2 pinches. And then I'll add a good portion of this Rainier Rancher. This spice packet actually has a lot of stuff in there, so I don't think I'm going to use all of it, but I am going to use a good bit of it. So I'm just going to pour that in. That's a little over half the packet. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of fresh ground pepper. Actually, I like a lot of pepper, so I'm going to add a little bit more of that. All right. So now we've got this nice bit in here, but it looks like it's lacking a little bit in fluid, and I really wanted to get the whole steak. So I'm going to add some more of the red wine. I think that makes a great base. So now, when we reseal that, I'm going to squeeze all this and get it all around there. And actually, because I'm still a little shy, I'm going to add a little more red wine. Can't have too much wine. That's the way I look at it. All right, so that's a good bit in there. And then I'm going to reseal this with a vacuum sealer. And so that's going to suck some of the liquid out of there, or the air, sorry, and get that a little more wrapped around the tomahawk. So I'm going to let that marinate for about 24 hours, and we'll get started with the sous vide tomorrow. All right, so we're now 24 hours later. I had the tomahawk in the refrigerator, marinating in a bag. So still got the red wine, all the spices. It's a little wet, but it has been marinating for 24 hours. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place it in a sous vide bath. So if you've never used a sous vide, it's actually a great tool. You can see it here. I'm using the Anova, which is here. And I have it set for 129 degrees. It's just coming up to temperature. And I'm going to cook it for the tomahawk for 4 hours. So after that, then we'll move to the grilling step. But the nice thing about the sous vide is it doesn't ever overcook. It basically brings it up to temperature and cooks it perfectly all the way through. If you've ever had a steak like this that's so thick, and you can never tell when it's done, or you overcook it or undercook it, the sous vide is a perfect way to cook it perfectly every time. You basically just drop it in the bath. You want to make sure that all the meat is submerged, and I'm going to pin the side of it here and here. So you can see kind of how I've got that in there. You want the tomahawk to be totally in the water, so it's submerged all the way. And I'm just pinning it so it doesn't float around. And you want the water to be able to get around the whole steak so it cooks evenly. So we will let that cook for the next 4 hours or so, and we'll be back to finish it up. All right, so we cooked the tomahawk steak for 4 hours, and I pulled the bag out, as you can see here, and I cut the top off. So what is, you want to pull the steak out and you want to pat it dry. And then I'm going to put it on this little sheet pan here and let it dry out for a little bit. You want it to be really, really dry when you put it on for the final sear. That way you get a nice, good caramelization. So you can see it smells so good. So I'm just going to dry him off. It's called him. I don't know why, but it's now him. I'm going to get it nice and dry. I'm not going to rinse it or anything. I think you want to leave a little bit of the spice that's on there, but it is literally falling apart, you can see. So I'm just patted this dry with some paper towels. I'm going to set it on the sheet pan there. That's not what I'm going to cook it on though. I'm actually going to cook it on this. So I'm going to put it on the grill and I'm going to heat this up probably for about 10 minutes on high heat. There's nothing on here. It's just a plain like cast iron. It's actually part of a griddle system. So it's just the cast iron itself. But I'm going to put this down on the grill. I'm going to turn it up on high. I'm going to let it heat up for about 10 minutes. And then we will put the tomahawk on there and get that pan nice and hot to sear it up. All right. All right, so we're out here now heating up the grill. I've got that pan, the flat cast iron pan in the grill heating up. And you can see right there, we're looking at the temperatures. I'm going to try to let it really heat up. So we're going to let it go for a little bit. And I'm using a Weber grill. It's a Genesis 2. It's been the most amazing grill I've ever had. So I highly recommend it. So you can just see inside. I'll show you. Ooh, it's hot. So that is super hot. So when I put that tomahawk down on there, it is just gonna really crust up and flame on. So I'm gonna go get that now. All right, so I've got my tomahawk. You can see here. It is dry. It's actually been drying for probably 15-20 minutes. So I'm gonna walk out to the grill. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tomahawk, I'm going to open the lid, I'm going to put it on the cast iron kind of griddle that I have there, and I'm going to let it cook for about 1.5 minutes. What you really want to do is wait. There's no oil or anything on the griddle, the cast iron pan that I put in there. You don't want to put any oil or anything on there because it messes up the sear. So you want to put it down and you want to wait till it lets go. It's going to be stuck to the pan and that's okay. And then you're just going to give it a little bit of time and then it will release and then you flip it. So I'm going to try about 1.5 minutes, and then I will go from there. If you see how hot that is, you can actually see the smoke coming off of it. That's exactly what you want. You want it hot, you sear it, you don't want to overcook it. That's why you cook it at a little bit lower temperature. This is a big piece of meat. And that's all we have. So we have 1.5 minutes for that to sear. All right, so it's been 1.5 minutes, so we're gonna check it. Oh, that smells so good. And there you go. So I can pick it up. So I'm gonna, wow, this thing's heavy. Flip it over. Oh, that looks amazing. 1.5 more minutes and we'll be done. All right, so we're now at another 1.5 minutes, so we're gonna pull it off. Wow. I just wanna show everybody how beautiful this looks. So that's the top sear. Really, really amazing. So I'm gonna pull that off now and then we will get it in the kitchen and slice it up. All right, so here we have this beautiful tomahawk steak. So I'm going to cut into it and get a couple of slices ready. Wow, you can see how beautiful that is. Perfect. Exactly how I like it. It's definitely medium, so if you are more of a medium rare, you would just lower the temperature from the sous vide, because you are going to get a little bit of cooking when you finish it off on the grill, but it shouldn't be anything major. But the sear is just beautiful on this. I'm going to show you just a little bit closer in there. Is that not beautiful? Really, really beautiful. All right, so I'm going to put this on a plate and make it look pretty, and we'll be right back. All right, here we are with the finished product. It looks absolutely amazing. And I paired it with my favorite side dish, truffled tater tots. So the other thing you might add, I'm just gonna say one of my other favorites is the Captain Toadie's horseradish sauce. So I have a little bit of that there. So I'm gonna just do a little dipper. Not that it needs it, but it sure is a nice addition. Amazing. All right, have a great day. Yum. Good luck with your tomahawk.